The king of the universe believed he had won. He had swallowed his children, silenced prophecy, and chained the future inside his own body. The heavens were quiet, the Titans unchallenged, and Cronus sat upon the throne of existence, convinced that fate itself had been defeated. But destiny does not shout when it arrives. It hides, it waits, and it grows. While the Titan king ruled in fear, a child destined to shatter the cosmos had already vanished from his grasp. Hidden in stone and shadow, cradled by the earth itself, the god who would end the age of the Titans was alive. And though the world did not yet hear thunder, Zeus had already escaped, and with his survival, the fall of Cronus had become inevitable. Rhea fled from Cronus in silence and sorrow, carrying her infant far from the halls of Titan power. Guided by Gaia herself, she crossed the ancient seas and reached the island of Crete, a land of caves, mountains, and untamed wilderness. There, in the depths of the earth, she concealed her son within a sacred cavern. Zeus was not raised in palaces nor crowned at birth. He was cradled by stone, nourished by nature, and protected by silence. Nymphs tended to him, feeding him the milk of the divine goat Amalthea, while the Curetes, armoured guardians, clashed their shields and spears outside the cave, masking the cries of the infant so that Cronus would never hear them echo across the world. As Zeus grew, he did not grow weak. He grew aware. Even in childhood, the air around him trembled with latent power. Lightning stirred unconsciously in his presence, storms gathering where his emotions flared. Unlike the Titans, whose rule was rooted in brute force and fear, Zeus was shaped by survival, secrecy, and patience. He learned restraint before dominance, observation before action. Gaia watched, knowing that this child was not merely another god, but the instrument through which the cosmic cycle would turn once more. Meanwhile, Cronus ruled the universe, believing himself eternal. The Titans governed their domains, the world lived in uneasy peace, and the swallowed Olympian gods remained imprisoned within their father's body, alive, conscious, waiting. Yet prophecy does not fade with time, it festers, and when Zeus reached maturity, the earth itself seemed to shift, as though creation sensed that the moment of reckoning had arrived. Guided again by Gaia and aided by Metis, goddess of cunning intelligence, Zeus devised a plan not of force, but of deception, the same weapon his father had once used against Uranus. Zeus returned in disguise to the court of Cronus, concealing his identity beneath humility and obedience. Some myths tell that he served as a cupbearer to the Titan king, pouring wine and nectar for the ruler of the cosmos. Into this drink, Zeus placed a powerful emetic, a potion designed not to kill, but to restore the past. When Cronus drank, the illusion of control shattered. One by one, he vomited forth the children he had swallowed long ago: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, fully grown, unharmed, and burning with rage. The first Olympians stood reunited, not as infants, but as gods forged by imprisonment and betrayal. In that moment, Cronus understood the truth too late. The cycle he had feared had come to pass. The child he sought to erase now stood before him, not trembling, but commanding. Zeus did not strike immediately. He did not rage. He spoke, and in his voice thunder coiled, not yet unleashed. The age of Titan certainty was over. But overthrowing a king of gods required more than defiance. It required power equal to the cosmos itself. At Gaia's urging, Zeus descended into the depths of the earth and freed the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires, the same monstrous beings once imprisoned by Uranus and later neglected by Cronus. Gratitude burned fiercely within them. The Cyclopes, master smiths of divine weaponry, forged the instruments of cosmic authority. Thunderbolts for Zeus, the trident for Poseidon, and the helm of invisibility for Hades. These were not mere weapons, but symbols of a new order, control of sky, sea, and underworld. The foundations of Olympian rule were being laid before a single battle had yet begun. Cronus attempted to resist, but fear now ruled him as fully as it once ruled Uranus. His tyranny had hollowed his alliances. Some Titans remained loyal, bound by blood or fear, but others hesitated, sensing that fate had already chosen its side. Zeus, unlike his predecessors, did not rule alone. He gathered allies, forged bonds, and united his siblings under a shared cause. This was not merely a rebellion, it was a reordering of existence. The fall of Cronus did not come in a single blow, but in the collapse of certainty. His authority crumbled as his children stood against him, as ancient prisoners rose in rebellion, and as the heavens themselves answered Zeus's call. Though the full war, the Titanomachy, was yet to erupt, the reign of Cronus was already broken. He was no longer the unquestioned ruler of the cosmos, but a king besieged by destiny. When the final confrontation came, Zeus did not seek to repeat the sins of his forebears. Cronus was defeated, bound, and cast down, not erased from existence, but removed from power. Some myths place him imprisoned in Tartarus, others portray him ruling the Elysian fields in exile. What matters is not where Cronus fell, but why. He fell because fear cannot preserve power, because control breeds rebellion, and because destiny, in Greek mythology, is not avoided, it is fulfilled. Thus ended the fall of Cronus and the hidden rise of Zeus. The child raised in darkness now stood as the axis of the cosmos. The Titans had ruled through force. The Olympians would rule through order, law, and balance. Though even this new age would not be free from conflict. For the universe, once awakened to struggle, never returns to silence. The thunder had not yet been unleashed, the war of gods was still to come. But the old king had fallen, and the sky now answered to a new voice.